Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Filling Your Cup. I'm your host, David.
I'm your other host, Calvin. What's up, y'all?
And today we're going to talk about a recent article that came out regarding California. And our governor, Gavin Newsom, signed an order banning sales of new gasoline cars by 2035.
Yeah, so today we're going to talk about the 4 key points that we got from this signage. So number one is environmental. So, in theory, by reducing our
Gasoline cars.
gasoline cars, we should burn less oil, and that should be good for the environment.
Yeah, but like, so here's the thing with electric cars for me, right? People say it's really good for the environment, but then how I see it is you're just displacing where you're using the energy from. So instead of using oil, right, you're just gonna be converting from oil to electricity, right? But then you still gotta get that electricity from somewhere, right? So I mean, don't electricity come from like burning like coals and other energy sources that's not so good for the environment?
Great point. So for California, 68% of our energy comes from non-renewable sources, such as natural gas, coal, oil, nuclear, etc.
Mm-hmm.
But a big chunk of that is from natural gas. And natural gas emits 50 to 60% less carbon dioxide than burning oil in itself. Natural gas also emits 15 to 20% less of heat trapping gases than gasoline when burned in today's practices. So that's better for the environment than burning oil directly from the millions of cars that we have on the road.
Oh, okay. I mean,
yeah.
I didn't know that. So I mean, like, again, in theory, that does make sense. And so 60% is from non-renewable. So I guess like around 37% or 37% is from like renewable energy sources, right?
Yeah. So renewables like solar, wind, small hydroelectric powers, and geothermal, etc. Things like that.
So I mean, I guess like if you factor in that as well, it's definitely better for like the environment, right? So I guess the second point is so what's like the economic effects of this though? So if you're banning the sales of gasoline cars by 2035, right? So I guess to me, what jumps out to me is I guess you're gonna use less oil moving forward. Because then all the new cars, in theory, right, that are being purchased after 2035 should be electric cars, right? But I think I'm already thinking of a loophole right now. So what if I drive like one state over line, and then I can just buy like a gasoline car from like Oregon or Nevada, right? And I can just like drive it back. I think I can still technically do that, right? Because they're banning the sales of gasoline cars in California, but nothing say I can't go to a different state and buy it and drive back. I mean, it's more hassle for me. So I guess this incentivizes me to do it, but I guess it's still an option. Just throwing it out there.
Right.
But back to my point, right? So gas prices will go down, but then I think electricity prices will go up, right? Even though we kind of have like a little monopoly here because the government kind of dictates the price of electricity, I think the electricity prices still will go up because of the demand, right? Like more people are using it. I think prices is going to go up, which will so the price of electricity will go up. I think is because to disincentivize people to use too much electricity. Because like couple weeks ago, right, we had some blackouts because of the heat wave that was hitting Cali, and since everybody's turned on the AC, like I guess they couldn't handle our energy consumption, and we had to have some like blackouts in parts of the counties, right? Like different counties were hit at different times.
Yeah.
So this is the thing with me though. I think this is a savings for people who drive cars, but it's really bad for homeowners or people who pay the electricity bill because their bill is gonna go up for sure. Like I think their bill is gonna go up for sure because more cars is gonna depend on the grid, and if the grid can't handle the demand, then I think they're gonna raise prices, maybe even more than what they would have normally to disincentivize people from using electricity.
Great point. I agree. And the more electricity we use, the more, non-renewables and renewable sources that we burn as well. And natural resources is a uh, finite thing. So as we, consume more and more, and supply gets less and less, and
Right,
electricity
right.
go.
Calvin, but then now you're not really arguing my point, because we do burn oil, and oil is still a natural resources, right? And in theory,
Yes,
that runs out too. But then we do have abundant amount of oil though, because I think America, our reserves, like we have a really big reserves of oil, and oil is cheap right now, because I mean all the oil rich country, right, like Saudi Arabia, Iran, Iraq, like they all have a lot of oil to sell. So this ban does, like, it's gonna rely on, it's gonna hit more of the other renewable resources, right? Like such as like coal. I mean, I don't even use that much coal, but like natural gas. That's like the one that comes out to me. So I'm not too sure on how much reserve we have on natural gas, but I think we do have an abundant amount of natural gas as well. But then, yeah, that's kind of like that's kind of like, I guess, the point, right? Is just we're really straying away from oil and depending more on, like, renewable resources, and like the other non-renewable resources as well. So I guess number three, right? Let's just address the elephant in the room. Like I think we both agree that this bill, I think it's a bill. I don't know if it's a bill or it's an order. I'm not really trying to classify it. It's really catering to Tesla, because Tesla is I think is one of, and it's like the biggest automaker in California. Don't quote me on that, but I believe so.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
and back in May, Tesla already threatened to leave California because local authorities, they didn't let them reopen their Fremont factory. And I mean, and the biggest and Elon, he's really big on efficiency and operating. And if you don't let the guy operate, then he's not gonna be happy. Like he don't want to be sitting idle doing nothing, right? And then so I think a real big piece of this bill, this let's call it a bill, or a bill. This bill is because they want to cater to Tesla to try to keep them happy, right? So because they're saying like, hey, we're gonna make like all the new cars that's sold in California all electric, and since you're one of the bigger or the biggest electric car maker, and you're gonna get a lot of business, if you stay and play by our rules, kind of thing.
I agree. For sure. This bill, I mean, like you said, Tesla is the. I mean, when you think of electric cars, what comes into mind? Tesla, right?
Sexy, right? Sexy, right?
Is it exactly? So, keeping them happy, keeping them, um, afloat, operating in California, it's a smart thing for the governor to do, because they do provide a lot of revenue and jobs for Californians and things like that. So that I could see that bill is low key trying to keep them in California, because they do have plants in other states as well, and that do offer great incentives.
Incentives, yes. And number four, our final point is I think, so to say, if our number three point is correct, the number four is because doing business in California is really difficult, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's why they have to do something like this to keep Tesla happy, because number one, there's so much regulations and rules for businesses in California. Like to open a business, you need all these permits. You need to sign up with the city and government. Like, I mean, I'm sure you do that everywhere, but especially in California, there's it just feels like there's a lot more paperwork, or a lot more obstacles you have to jump through in order to get started. Even once you get started, you need to do a lot of paperwork, office work, just to keep your business going. So it's like, I feel that's such a hindrance on like any business. Like, no one want to deal with all those paperwork and like rules and regulation, right? And number two, California has as you all know, like have one of the higher tax rate for everybody, like corporations, individuals, like they have like really high tax rate, right? So it's not beneficial to operate in California, right, Calvin?
Yes, sir. So California has the highest personal income tax in the United States of America with 13.3%. And then the second highest is Hawaii, comes in at 11%. So 2.3% higher than the second leading highest income tax state in America. So that gives you a perspective of what Uncle Sam takes out of you every year, and adding into the regulations and rules and things like that, all the other fees that you have to pay. Starting a business in California can be an uphill battle for anybody, not just Tesla.
Yeah, so I guess like to kind of wrap it up is like the income tax doesn't really affect corporations as much, but like as the workers, right? Workers like, they get taxed on income tax, and people might, and I feel like this is kind of like not just businesses, but a lot of like workers are leaving California because of like over this COVID pandemic, right? The purpose of California and like these big cities like California, New York, LA, what's the selling point of these? It's because of the nightlife, right? You get to go out, you get to socialize, you go to all these events, you get to have fun, right? That's kind of like the whole selling point. Because if you don't want that, why not just go to like a more chill place, like maybe like Utah or like I don't know, like
suburbs and
like any states.
White fences.
It's like Utah has like a really nice, like a really beautiful like nature view, right? Like so you're a big fan of nature. Like I might move there one day. I don't know, but like the selling point of these big cities is because of like all these nightlife. And over this COVID, people realize that like they're all locked in and stuff. They can't do anything at home. They can't go out. So what's the selling point anymore of like California? And especially if you're paying all these high taxes, since people can work remote now. Why would I live in a state that's so expensive? Like the cost of living here is probably like 2x. Maybe not 2x, but it's like maybe like 1 to 1.5x more than like other parts, like a lot of the parts of the country, right? So it just doesn't make sense living in California anymore. So I think that's kind of like one other reason why I think we might see more bills kind of like this. Maybe not exactly like this, but like like bills catering to like tech workers or tech giants because they are like the backbone of our economy in California, and I mean they gotta do something to keep people happy because I feel like a lot of people are leaving in droves, and it's not. I don't think it's a coincidence. I think it's there's a purpose why, and people's realizing that like, hey, maybe California is not such a great place to live in after all, right?
Yep. The population of newly incoming residents are going down, so that's true. Yeah, people are not finding the incentives to stay in California because of the cost of living, because of the high rent, etc., food prices, the dense populations in the major cities. They're all spreading out to open spaces and suburbs.
What's the biggest drawback of California?
What?
All these forest fires, dude.
Oh, there you go. California's burning. There's COVID. Earthquakes.
I mean, earthquake hasn't even hit yet, and it's still coming, dude. That's
coming.
All right, so we don't want to drag out this video, but I guess that was our 4 takeaway of this bill. Let us know in the comments below to see if what do you think this bill is like is
affecting you? Yeah.
Does it make sense? Does it benefit like not just the environment, but does it benefit like Californians or I mean whatever your thoughts is, like always, like, comment, and subscribe.
Right.
And we'll catch you guys in the next video.
Peace. Later.